It is Metal and Kendle right here on uncontrollednoise.com. That song right there was from Threatpoint. They're out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. The song is their single from their latest release, Salvation, Save Your Apologies for God. And on the show with me now, we have Threatpoint's very own CJ, the drummer, and Alex, the guitar player. How are you guys?
Hey, what's up?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome, of course. And back on my Wilkes University days, college radio, I did have you guys in the studio, and I've kind of kept up to date with what you guys have been doing in Threatpoint. So usually for an interview, I do some researching, but this one it didn't take much because I already know you guys. So hopefully this one goes a lot better than the last one. But as I recall, the last one went pretty good, right?
Yeah, it went awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Since last time you guys have released Salvation, as far as I see by following you on social media, so it's available now pretty much on all the sites that you could get it, whether it be iTunes, Bandcamp, I'm assuming, all those kind of streaming services?
Yeah, like iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, we're all over. You could pretty much do a Google search for Threatpoint and it'll come up. I mean, there's right off our official site, come see us live. You know, we'll get it to you.
And I see that, though it's out right now, is it so that you're not doing the CD release party until around June?
Yeah, June. Yeah, we don't have it announced yet, but we have the details together for it, and we will be doing it in June. Just kind of letting it sit and lie a little bit, you know, before we do it.
And is that more or less just getting the time to get an event like that ready, or is there a reason in terms of letting it sit a bit to maybe see how it does before that kind of event?
Yeah, we have a pretty busy schedule, you know, coming up, and it was tough to kind of fit it in there right now. And like usually with like all bands do it, like they'll have a CD release show, like whatever the day of or something like. And we've always done that too, but I don't know, it doesn't hurt to try something different, I guess, right?
In terms of releasing it out on all those platforms, how does that do for a band in your kind of realm there? How do you know what's getting the most traction on those kinds of sites?
CD Baby will give you a report every like maybe 2 months or 3 months or something like that, like quarterly. And you get something from iTunes as well. You know, they kind of, but you know, it's kind of gray area though. Like they don't really, it's very difficult it really is to see like how many people are listening to your music, because like I'm already looking and there's things getting uploaded to YouTube already. Do you know what I mean? So it's so hard to keep up with it, but bottom line is like we recorded it because we want it out there, not, you know what I mean? Like, so hopefully people pay for it, but if not, whatever, at least they're hearing it, I guess, so.
Now, in terms of the market and you not knowing, do you pretty much get a better idea when you're out touring in terms of people coming to your shows and supporting your new music that way?
I would say so. I mean, Alex could answer more about that because I'm a drummer, I'm in the back, so a lot of times I get blinded by lights, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Alex,
from what I've seen, it's been getting received pretty well. At least when we're playing the new material live, and we already sold a handful of CDs too.
So you do have them printed. I see you guys have a lot of shows coming up from now, booked all the way out till October. Mostly, it seemed, in the Northeast and up through Canada. Bands in your situation, or what seems to be your situation. Now, you guys mostly play around this area. In terms of going on tour with another band, say not a huge band, but a band who has a big audience in terms of going on maybe a U.S. tour or even traveling overseas and everything. Is that something that you guys ever consider, or is it something that you can even do based on maybe your day jobs or something like that? And to give a good example, what I'm thinking is, say, a band like Metal Church, who is not huge, but they have a great following. Them taking a younger band like Hatchet out a couple years ago, and I think that gave them great exposure. Yeah, I think I did see you at that show, CJ, too.
Yeah.
Now, is that something a band like Threatpoint can do, or are you ever looking to do something like that if someone offered?
It would be great to do it, but a lot of times it's a scheduling thing. Any band will tell you, like, on that level, like not superstar level, like Metallica or Iron Maiden or something like that. it's really a money game too. There's not, like we've had I don't want to say too much, but we've had the opportunity to jump on things, and more times than not, it's just a big money game. It's a big buy on, a couple grand, and $20,000-$30,000 just to buy onto a tour, and you're only going out for maybe a month or 2 or 3, and I mean there's really like no guarantees, and it's rough. And like I said, we're all realistic, real world people. We all have jobs and families and just responsibilities. And if we could line it up, sure. I mean, who wouldn't want to do it? You know what I mean? But it's just the logistics of it all.
Yeah, definitely. I go with what CJ said. We all love to do it, but it's all, like he said, just buy-ons and like some tens of thousands of dollars just to even play. And then you got to hope you at least make that back just to break even. It's tough. I
mean, there's even, like Chris went to go see our singer, who is not here, by the way, right now. He went to go see, some thrash band last year up in Poughkeepsie. I forget who. Armored Saint. And he was talking to those guys. And, Armored Saint is not a huge band, but they're legendary. They've been around for years. Yeah. And he was talking to them and just asking them how they do it. And one of the guys, he's in a cover band or something like that in Vegas. The one guy said, my wife has a great job. If she didn't have a great job, there's no way I'd be here doing this. So it's like, even for bands like that who've been around the block and been doing it for years, like it's still a tough break. I know the singer of Eric A.K. from Flotsam and Jetsam, he's got like a construction business or something like that. So it's like, even these guys have to work real jobs. So I mean, if we're telling you, they have it like that, like imagine how we have it. Like we're just trying to get our head above water, and those guys have been around forever. So
that's a great point, CJ. And, that's kind of eye opening too, and it's kind of sucks that the music business, can't support those kinds of musicians, because I do agree. I mean, they should be able to do that full time as a job based on how good they are. Like the bands you mentioned there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the business part sucks. So I guess for now, let's go back to the album, because as those artists would say, and as I hear most musicians say, it's for the love of the music, and that's why you do it as well.
Yep.
So this new album, Salvation, how many months was it in the making?
Oh my God. How long, Alex?
Well, we started writing, I think, literally right after Rip came out, so maybe October, November of 2016. And then we entered the studio, I think it was last January or February, and recorded it. I think the whole process from beginning to end was about a little over 2 years, or by the time it was released.
Yeah. It's funny, because we
started
playing these stuff live, you know what I mean? And it's like, they're some of them are just like old to us, because they've been, you know what I mean? I mean, people are hearing them now for the first time, but it's like, these are not new to us by any means. Like, I remember Chris had some stuff on his phone from January of 2017, so it's like, I mean, the whole thing took a while. We got in the studio and hammered it out pretty decently, but when we finally got in there, but also through that, we lost our bass player, Matt, at the time, and then our original guy, Sam, came back and he re-recorded some things. So it's a process, and then we sent it out for professional mastering. So, because you're trying to give it that super polished sound, so it's just always, it's always more difficult than people think it is.
I think it's worth it in the end, though. Even with like like CJ said, the mastering, it makes a world of difference when you're actually listening to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely I'd say our best produced record to date.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes, your 4 albums in here, and to be honest, I'm only familiar with the last one, R.I.P., and this one, Salvation, listening to these two, and yeah, I would agree with you there. And a follow-up would have been what makes it take 2 years, but you guys kind of touched on that already in terms of, I'm sure you guys wanted to make it as good as it could be, and that takes time. Also, I noticed you have a change in the band since I last spoke to you guys around 2016. You have another guitar player. Did this affect the recording at all of this new album? I mean, I'm sure it affects the live shows and everything, but was this guy in the band while you were writing, and did it have any influence on the direction now that you have the dual guitars?
He came to the band, like November of last year, CJ? I think
he joined?
November,
actually.
Or December. So yeah,
No.
we had written this album and recorded it already by the time he got in. So he had a lot to learn. But yeah, he's awesome. He's been kicking ass. We've been playing on that with him live since December, and it's awesome. We've even heard from people that have seen us over the years saying that this is like the best we've ever sounded, which is great to hear too. So definitely looking forward to what we could how we're gonna write for this whenever we release our next album.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an effect, I'm assuming a great effect on the live performances so far in terms of that fuller sound, and it's always great to hear, the rhythm, more true to the recordings, but now I guess you'll take it to the next recording to have, a better idea of how you guys mesh well on an album. For now, let's go with this latest release. I'll play a song here now and bring you guys back on, and I thought I would play Bullet Gone By.
Yeah.
Which, to me, it standed out the most because I felt it was the most kind of stripped down and in a good way. It gave more room to things, especially the bass that I heard on Bullet Gone By. And then also I liked how your singer Chris kind of sang in a higher register. So any insight on this song before I play it?
It's funny you bring that up, that it's more stripped down, because that was actually an accident in the studio.
Yeah.
So like in the verse part where it's mainly just the bass that you were talking about.
Yeah.
It was all heavy guitars there, and I forget what happened. The producer accidentally muted the guitars for that part, and the part played through, and we just thought it sounded cool, so we just kind of rolled with it.
And Sam is a huge Megadeth fan, for what that's worth. So we feel we achieved a bit of a Megadeth vibe with some of it, with like the verse. Yeah, like he just said, we want to mute the guitar on accident to hear the bass line, and we're just like, whoa, listen to that. And it just gives the song more dynamic. It's not, typical Machine Gun song or, really fast or whatever. It's just very rock and roll type feel.
Fun to play live, too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to hear that. For now, we'll hear it right here on Metal and Kendle. Glad to hear we're on the same page with this one. So here it is. It is Threatpoint with Bullet Gone By.
Can you feel the pressure? I can see the bullet.
Gone by Threatpoint right here on Metal and Kendle, and I am still joined by CJ, drummer of Threatpoint, and Alex, guitarist. That's from their latest album, Salvation, still on the phone. And before that, you guys were kind of mentioning Megadeth, how that song, Bullet Gone By, you kind of were influenced by them a bit, or it sounded like Megadeth when you guys listened back to it after that story we heard about the coming of that song. So now I thought I'd ask you guys some specific questions about your roles in the band. So I guess right now we'll start with Alex, the guitarist. I want to first touch on a current event here. I was scrolling through Blabbermouth and I saw a story about Dave Mustaine, and he recently went on Instagram or Twitter, and he said for the first time ever he's going to be using the wah pedal. And
wow,
I was wondering, yourself, Alex, as a guitar player, how you feel about him making that move, and as a guitarist, do you feel like a wah pedal is kind of a crutch, or like, did you see the reasoning behind him not using that?
That's a very interesting question, actually. I do use the wah pedal. I think it's I guess from a personal standpoint, I think it has a little, I guess, cool little sounder texture, especially to like guitar leads and solos. I guess it's a matter of taste. I actually would have never thought Dave Mustaine would have never used one, but now that I think about it, I don't even recall hearing much wah in Megadeth at all. That's an interesting move, but I think it's a good move. Trying to evolve your sound or change, or looking for new ways to play the instrument, so to speak. Maybe you could come up with a different, any like sort of like musical pieces or guitar ideas you wouldn't have come up with before, possibly.
Yeah, and listening to his reasoning on it, I think you guys are kind of in agreement there, and I agree with it as well. He's saying it's kind of, give him another element to his playing, and he was encouraging guitarists to try something different as well. And the reason he's doing this is because he is touring on the Hendrix Experience Tour with a couple other notable guitarists. So it's the first time he's going to be doing that, and I look forward to hearing it and seeing how he does it. And people are making it controversial, though, and saying it's kind of a dig on Kirk Hammett for all of his use of the wah pedal, but I think those days for Dave are behind him. He doesn't really care, but maybe he just likes to kind of egg people on.
Yeah.
So I'll go to now a drumming-oriented question for CJ. Who is the most underrated drummer?
God, there's so many of them. Underrated. That's a great question. God, there's so many of them. If I had to pick one, with more current music, John Bachlan. He used to play for Devil Driver. Now he's in what's that new band, Alex? Bad Wolves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in that band now. He's great. Everybody always, Chris Adler, Joey Jordison, those guys always are, even Jason Bittner, who's another great one. Those guys always get current modern day praise for being like, the guys that, the drummers of current day metal to kind of push it forward. And they're all great, but John Bachlan is just as good, if not better than those guys. And you rarely ever hear his name get mentioned. It's a shame. But, there's a lot, even just in general, a lot of underground bands and musicians who are just, you might not ever even hear from them. Do you know what I mean? But it's just how it goes.
Some of my favorite drummers I think are underrated. One happens to be Kirk Arrington, who drummed on the first couple Metal Church albums.
Oh, yeah. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, and in terms of him being my favorite, it's just the essence of, not so much the production of the album, but the essence of the drums and what they did for the songs. Obviously, he was technically well accomplished as well.
Yeah, the song Metal Church, that song's got a lot of kick-ass, fills.
Yeah.
And just, it's, if I ever did drum covers, I would definitely do that one.
Of course, great, yeah.
Awesome song. Just a big fat beat, and the fills are brilliant. Nothing too technical. It's awesome.
Now, CJ, what do you think makes a good drummer? And I ask because I actually just started drumming for a cover band, and
That's
I feel
awesome.
and I feel like you would, you're very accomplished. Of course, everyone hears from this latest album, if this is the first time they are hearing Threatpoint tonight. So I'm just starting basically with keeping a beat and adding things here and there. As you progress more, what do you think makes a great drummer?
Obviously, keeping the beat is number one. Don't be so worried if, because some people start too early and they'll try to fill and then they come back in off the fill and they're off time. And okay, don't worry about that. But AC/DC, listen to a lot of AC/DC. Hey, you can say whatever you want about his drumming, but he is always right on the mark. And, if you're playing live with a band or, even if, you guys are playing in a room together or you're in front of people, if you're off time or off beat, guaranteed, because it happens to me, everybody is going to turn to you. And, it's just that's the pulse. That's the, you know what I mean? It's like a heart palpitation. If you mess up, it's not, everybody's going to know it. You feel it. You know what I mean? So definitely the beat is the strong point, and everything else will just come with time,
Cool. So thank you for that, CJ, of course, once again, the drummer, and we'll kind of, bring things to an end.
Yeah, you know what? Rip, our last album, and this current one definitely go hand in hand with each other sound-wise, but we have molded into that because, Chris grew up on old thrash. That's my favorite form of metal. There's death metal, groove metal, speed metal. I've always liked thrash. I've just always liked the riffery in it. So yeah, for me, I'm sure Alex would agree too. We're all kind of going that route.
Yeah, we all listen to, the core bands we all like, but, we all listen to, different forms of metal, like CJ said, even, things outside of metal, too, that we like. I think we just try to, kind of bring those in and, stir the pot, I guess. There's even some songs I would say have, almost like a hard rock kind of, I want to say maybe bluesy influence, too.
Oh, yeah.
One song in particular, there's a song on the new album called I Am that definitely has, a hard rock, just kind of almost like hard blues kind of feel going on.
Okay. And since you mentioned it, I think that'd be a great song here to end it with. So that'll be I Am off of Salvation. Before I let you guys go, how can people find you on the internet?
Oh, God. We're all over. Threatpointofficial.com for one. And if you just did a Google search for Threatpoint, we come up.
Oh, yeah, we're on Facebook, YouTube. If you want to get our music, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes. Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere. Also at local music stores. We have at Jack Northeast Music has our albums. We're also at the Gallery of Sounds in the area as well.
Great. So for all the people local to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, check out Threatpoint. Otherwise, if you're listening worldwide to Metal and Kendle and streaming uncontrollednoise.com, just search up Threatpoint. You'll find them. They are the one and only. And thank you, CJ and Alex, for joining me on Metal and Kendle tonight. So I'll end this by playing I Am off of Threatpoint's latest release, Salvation. So here it is on uncontrollednoise.com.